Okay, boys and girls, back in action here. We got some special guests for you today. We got Marcus McGHEE, new to the top 15 bantamweight division, and then we got the legend Diesel Riggs in the house. So let's grab yourself a refreshment. Can you turn those tunes up a bit, Garrett? Refreshment of your choice. Let's get that posture up. Can't be sagging. Cannot be sagging. This episode is brought to you by Spade. Zero sugar, 0 calories, all natural, 6 flavors, cola, yuzu lime, guava, blueberry, acai, kiwi strawberry, Dr. Spade. Only 6 ingredients, including water, sweetened with the most premium, pure form of stevia on the market. No bitter aftertaste. Caffeine-free, dye-free, added electrolytes for hydration benefit. Just as healthy as a sparkling water and just as flavorful as a traditional soda. So check out the link in bio. You can get those on Amazon. Shipped straight to you. Okay, here we go. Oh my God, I'm struggling with it. I'm seriously struggling with it. We went to the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight. Diesel?
Ooh.
Who gave you the little tighten up? No, the tighten up upstairs.
I was gonna say, he looks in shape too. Look at that back.
I know. He's
Up
been
like an old cross cock. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, not too bad, man.
So this weekend we went to the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight, and it was pretty crazy seeing the Cowboys Stadium completely packed like that. And not even just the stadium packed, the floor was packed. I think they said there was over 70,000 people in there watching a boxing match.
That's
and the
crazy.
only big real match, I mean not real match, but the big match was Jake Paul Mike Tyson.
It's crazy how big Mike Tyson is, obviously, but Jake Paul is what made that whole thing happen, right?
Dude, it was crazy. It was crazy seeing the weigh-ins. Mike Tyson came out, walked out to Tupac, had his little thong on, and he looked dieseled up. He would look like
He came out to Tupac?
Yeah, because you know Tupac died after one of his fights.
It's when he, I forget what the fight, I think he fought Francis Botha, I think. When he, I know what you're talking about.
Came out there, gave him a smacking, and he didn't really have his elbow behind the smack. If he had his elbow behind the smack, that probably would have hurt Jake a lot worse, but kind of woke him up, but Jake stepped on his toe, blah, 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 blah. The energy was pretty crazy out there, and then Jake came out, and it looks like he was trying to crack him early on. I know people say, it's rigged. It's like, okay, we're sitting our second row. You can tell if someone's pulling their punches. I think later in the fight, Jake didn't want to knock him out in that later round. It looked like he was pulling a few of his shots there. But successful trip. And Netflix shut down. Did you guys see Big Mike's butt cheeks?
Oh my God, I laughed for hours straight watching his sagging ass drift across the screen.
Fuck, that was
I don't know if that was sagging, man. I think still pretty tight.
It was pretty tight.
All right. It looked maybe I wanted it to sag. But yeah, I loved how he kissed the guy in the cheek and then just waddled off back to his locker like they weren't going to show his ass. I enjoyed that.
When the Netflix crashed, they said there were 50 million people watching on Netflix. So that was definitely a game changer. I'm really curious now with Netflix seeing those kind of numbers come in and negotiations coming up for UFC, who knows what's going to happen? There could be UFCs. They could do away with the pay-per-view. Who knows? I mean, anymore, to get over 1 million pay-per-views, it probably might never happen again.
Think so?
Just because it's just too easy to stream.
Yeah.
Too easy to stream. Click on two websites, boom, boom, and you're there streaming it for free.
Is that really how easy it is?
Yep.
Yeah. It really is. So that would be interesting, wouldn't it? UFC live on Netflix.
I didn't think it would be something good with the boxing thing, but it was good. I mean, it was a good build up and everything.
Yeah, it was crazy. So then we stayed up late. We went to some country bar there, stayed up way too late. And then we flew to Atlanta in the morning. There was the Prize Picks World Championships, and that's where we ended up watching UFC 309, where Marcus put a beating on Jonathan Martinez, which was pretty badass. So you pulled away with those first 2 rounds, pecking him, making him guess, and then you got your stick kicked. You got your lower stick kicked in what round?
It was in the second round. It was at the end of the second round that the one that actually hurt the most happened right at the end, like maybe 9 seconds before the end of the round. So a couple of people caught me limping back to the corner. I was like trying to walk it off. I was like, yeah, that one hurt though.
See, yeah, well, you're not a southpaw, man. So that calf ain't used to getting pecked at. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think people didn't realize that I'm not a southpaw.
Yeah.
So I went out and fought a southpaw and a great southpaw like him, southpaw, you know, and it was something I wanted to test myself with, and I trained it through camp, you know, and obviously we knew that we had that orthodox side, but I just felt something about that southpaw side that I really just was drawn to.
It just shows how fucking skilled and athletic he is. For someone who's a primary southpaw, one of the best strikers in division, Marcus is orthodox. Everyone knows it, and goes out and fights the whole fight southpaw with him and beats him. It's like, fuck, bro.
Fuck yeah. What made you want to switch southpaw? What was the determining factor for that?
There was just things I saw on that side that that made me feel as though I wanted to face those things southpaw, like that left kick. I wanted, and I feel good about my left kick too, you know. And then the jab and the hook. There's certain things that I felt like mirrored his style and that stance that I was doing during camp. That was like, man, you know, I almost guarantee I'm gonna go fight him southpaw. It wasn't like I made the decision for sure to do it until it was like we were going. Once we were going, I was like, yep,
there you go.
I'm pretty much gonna be southpaw this whole fight, you know. And
nice.
That's pretty much what I did. And every time I switched to orthodox, my mind kept on going, nope, we're fighting him southpaw, remember? So I don't know.
Well, I mean, you look good, man. Fuck yeah.
So was like, before that, what was the hardest calf kick you got hit with?
I would have to say Glenn Baker hit me with a calf kick way back in the day with shin pads on that blew my leg up. That was like, whoa, that's what let me know about calf kicks way when I was like a lot younger. But other than that, Kyler Phillips has hit me with some calf kicks that are pretty hard as well, you know. Henry Corrales has hit me with some good calf kicks. So I've felt some good calf kicks in there, you know. And that's when I knew which ones were going to be the ones that did real damage, you know.
Yeah, I mean, Henry Corrales is one of the ones who hit me with calf kick too, where it just fucking rattles your whole leg, and you're like, what in the fuck just hit me? It feels like a knife stabbed that nerve right there. It's been brutal. Have you been kicked in the calf real hard ever, Joe? Well,
when I retired, calf kicks weren't really as much of a thing. But have you ever heard of something called compartment syndrome? I have compartment syndrome in my peg, and I got whapped in when I was in Russia. This Russian kicked it. Oh, I almost started dragging that fucking leg around immediately. Oh. Yeah. I tried to walk it off, but it was just my leg was just too worn. It was horrible. I won, but I took one. I was through.
So that's what they were talking about. They were like, "Oh man, we gotta make sure it doesn't have compartment syndrome and all that stuff." And it's good now, you know. Honestly, I've been icing it and taking care of it, but that was one of the things. Like, hey man, you gotta make sure you take care of it. If there is an issue, go to the hospital. Make sure that you do these things because you can get compartment syndrome.
Yeah. What is that compartment syndrome?
Well, it's you know when you have shin splints or anything else, it's on the side of your shin where you get shin splints. Imagine, when you put a hot dog in the microwave and it splits open. Essentially, that's what it does underneath the skin and fascia. Your muscle just splits open. They have to cut you from the bottom of your ankle almost up to your, right below your knee, and just flay it open, have it just sit open. It has to heal from the inside. It's nuts. I didn't have it. Didn't have to do it to mine, but they do in certain cases.
Yeah, that's why people don't understand how serious those kicks are. Like, oh, you got kicked, and it's like, oh, that's it. Like, man,
look at the gimp dragging his leg around.
I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. Like a baseball bat hitting you in the leg, hitting you in the side of the leg, like.
Those last 2 minutes, though, because you stayed southpaw, right?
Yeah.
Those last 2 minutes, what were you thinking? Because he obviously knew it was hurt, right?
I was like, man, I'll go orthodox. But I was like, man, my luck, he kicks the other leg.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, my leg, he kicks that. My luck, he gets his, because he has a really good inside kick on that side, too.
Oh, shit.
And I'm already compromised, you know? I'm like, man, honestly, I'm going to have to fight him southpaw. I've been fighting him southpaw. Let's just make sure we take this thing away. If we are going to take kicks, make sure it's with our foot, not at the same spot, and that we're moving, you know.
That you're kind of backing away from it.
Mm-hmm. And I did go orthodox a couple of times too, just to kind of give that look as well, like, and let them know, like, man, if you step in here, I'm still dangerous. Like, and you step in here with just throwing that kick, this right hand will land, you know. But then I'd switch back to orthodox or to southpaw, and I'd do my boxing from that stance.
I mean, that just shows your high IQ, especially being in Madison Square Garden, big fucking UFC 309, and you being composed like that and being smart enough to just think and not just being spazzy. And this question here, it says, what keeps Marcus so composed when in the octagon? Does he have a dream matchup? But before that, I mean, you see it with guys like that Talbot kid or Sugar since he's been fighting. You, since you've been in the UFC, it's like you guys are so composed in there.
Yeah.
And it's like, can that really be taught, or is that just more in you?
I do think it's in you, But I think that it also, we have to realize that and use it as well, right? And not only when I say use it, I mean use it on the daily, use it as much as often, so that when we do get into these high pressure moments, nothing changes, because nothing does change, you know? I think that people forget that it's 15 minutes of our time, and though it's really, really important, it's not bigger than any of the other time that we've put in through our whole camp, you know? It's just the outcome, right? We want to get paid, we want to get the status, all these things that come alongside of it, but it doesn't make it bigger or more important than every day. So we have to treat it with the same importance. So if you treat every day that way, it's easier to treat fight day that way.
So coming into practice or coming into sparring, getting your mind ready and trying to do your best at mimicking the actual fight, and trying to make, when you go into sparring day, being like, okay, this is the fucking fight. I'm gonna have the same emotions. Easier said than done when you're in an arena with 20,000 people.
Yeah, exactly. But it is just that same thing, right? Now these people are just watching. That's it. You know, now these people are just watching. But what's changed, you know, other than the fact that it's one opponent now that you've been preparing for, you know, nothing's changed. It's the same thing. So if you're doing it on a daily basis and you're putting in the effort and the work, why overthink it? You know,
Yep.
Why put more emotion into it than need be? It's just as important as all the sparring sessions. It's just as important as all the grappling sessions. It's all the same thing to me, you know, and I take it in, and it was cool, and it was a cool moment, but it was all the same.
So you weighed at 136 about 10 weeks ago. How much did you weigh?
I was already getting ready for aiming, so I was still right around 162, 161, hovering that way, around that weight.
And now you're a clean 170. You got a little gut, a six-pack gut. Though.
Yeah, six-pack gut though, you know. That's what they always say, like, dang, you get back up that heavy, but you're still ripped.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. That's what you know, honestly, I gotta accredit it to my guys over at Built Better and to Jared, you know, like my strength and conditioning routine is just filthy, man, you know, and they keep me ready and keep me prime, and it's a lot of work that we do outside of the camps though. So like even though I do have that weight in me, I have a lot of muscle that I carry because I do put in that much time and effort into my strength, mobility, conditioning, you know, things that I don't necessarily think everybody is focused on, you know. And then genetics, you know, my dad's a big dude, you know, and I think that if I really wanted to be a big dude, I absolutely can, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not even trying to be this heavy. I just decided to eat some
Made of
things.
lead. He's a dense guy. He's real dense.
I mean, we're not even 4 or 5 days after the fight, and he said he weighs 170.
Is that what you weigh?
Yeah.
And his stomach's like a turtle shell.
Yeah.
He's always leaned out like that.
Yes.
Yeah, man, that's because it's mostly food right now, you know. But yeah, you know, again, like once I get moving again, I'll get back down, and I'll be a solid 165 though until I decide that it's time to start cleaning up and making sure my calorie deficits are on point and everything. So I have a great nutritionist, you know, Rob from Ancientarian helps me out a lot. So going into these camps, I make sure I get with my team and I make the right decisions and am diligent and disciplined. And honestly, making weight is no issue, you know.
And when you fight day, you usually around 156.
Oh, no. I was
63,
160, 162, you know?
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
so like, and it just depends. This one, there was so much more time, you know? There was so much more time before the fight, so.
How much time do you have?
Well, we waited at 9 o'clock on Friday morning, and I had from that till 9 o'clock on Saturday night, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So what is that, 30, that's almost 40 hours?
How much weight did you put on?
What, 20?
That's 24 pounds.
24 pounds.
Jeez, do you feel more bogged down? Do you feel the more weight you put on?
No, and I think for me in particular, it's because I walk around around that weight, you know, and it's like I don't walk around that weight unhealthily. I walk around that weight fully primed. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always say that, like, when and if I do decide to go up to 145 pounds, I do think that I'll fill out just fine for that division. You know,
Sure.
But at 135, at 136, you know, like I literally, if you talk to my team, like my weight cuts are so smooth and it doesn't make any sense, you know. But again, when we start rehydrating, I listen to what the PI team says, and I listen to what my nutritionist says, and I don't have to try to get this. If they say once I do all my drinking, once I drink everything I'm supposed to drink, and I take everything I'm supposed to take and take the time like I'm supposed to, eat when I want to eat, and my body says to eat, and it lets me eat. You know,
it's so crazy. Just in the last, say, probably 5 years now, just 5 years. Back when Diesel was in the UFC, we'd go weigh in, and the UFC, they'd throw you a bag of Cheez-Its and say, get on with it. But now that they got it so fucking dialed in, they got your hydration ready. when you're supposed to drink it, how long you're supposed to take drinking it, and they have it all ready for you right after weigh-ins. It really changed the game quite a bit. It's also, in your era, the commissions wouldn't let weigh-ins start until 24 hours before the event starts. So you got to wait all day. Friday, you can't start stepping on the scale. About 5 years ago. Can't start stepping on the scale till 7 p.m. And then the weigh-ins aren't done till 8 something. And now you got 24 hours before you're stepping in there.
I didn't think about that.
And I really think it does matter, like how you prime for it too, because like the Jerry Newsom fight was so fast that that's the lightest I ever walked back in the cage. I fought him at 153,
really,
which blew me away because I never fought anybody else under 158, 157, like 50 before that. 57 and a half was like the lightest I had.
The difference was what?
I think it was just like me. I didn't have time to prep myself for the weight cut, right? So because of that, my body wasn't as primed to retake up nutrients and glycogen and all those things.
Are you able to take a shot? When I would cut a lot of weight, obviously your brain doesn't. That loses water as well. Do you feel like you're able to take less of a shot or no?
Not at all. Not at all. Again, I think that goes with like all the preparation. If you do the right things and you load your body back up with the glycogen and everything that you're supposed to, and you deplete yourself the right way. I'm not cutting crazy weight. Like I'm dieting down.
To what?
So I went into fight week at 148. So
12 over.
12 over is when I went into fight week, right? And by the time I actually started cutting weight, I was 7 over.
The day before, what were you?
7 over.
You were 7. Is that what you just said? I just fucking asked another question.
Well, it's weird. Everyone's body's just so different. Like Shug, he'll cut 10 pounds the day before, but he'll only get up to 53, 54, like max. So everyone's just so different. But really, those weight cuts, dude, it's what the fans don't understand. It is the fight before the fight, and you got to do it right. And you've done this, and I still see guys do it. I still see guys do it. They'll spend 8 weeks, 9 weeks on this fight camp cut, and then I'll see them at the casino buffet, just eating some pancakes and syrup and then just hash browns and greasy shit, and they're just hammering after this whole fight camp's prepared for this fight and just fuck their guts.
And that's what's crazy. I don't do
Fuck
that.
their guts.
They really do though. I don't do that. I eat the same things basically that I was eating my whole camp, right? Yeah. I wait till after the fight to start enjoying those things. Now, sugars and all those things, our body is willing to uptake those things, right? That just adds to our glycogen. Those are all good things. So in that department, I can't have a Snickers. I can't have, I can't have a Belgian waffle. I can have those
treat
type
yourself
of things.
A little bit.
I can treat myself, but those are the things I treat myself with. Jelly, peanut butter and jelly, a little bit of peanut butter, a lot more jelly, lots of bread, like those things are things that we can treat ourselves with. What we can't do is we can't go down to the buffet and start tearing up shrimp and gumbo and,
get a case of gout like that.
And then your body doesn't want to eat anymore. You know what I'm saying? Your body's done. Your body's like, oh yeah, this is all we're getting up to because you just killed me. I got to digest this,
For sure, absolutely. 100%.
One thing that's a little weird to me with the UFC, I mean, they got the hydration and everything dialed the fuck in, but then they have all these snacks on the counter, and it's all these nutritionists who went to universities, and they're like, nope, goldfish. There's goldfish here if you need those. And then there's just like random shit. Like gummies and...
What's that?
I'm like, what the hell? A lighter. He's going to smoke up a little herb.
Is that a Dusty? What is that?
I don't know what this is. I just know it's right here and ready and primed for me. And,
that's a little DMT stick. Have at it.
Now all of a sudden I'm on DMT all day. Like, this is not what I planned for.
Is that me, boy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you want one? You want one?
No, I'm okay.
What's up, boys? Today's video is brought to you by Via Hemp. Via gives you the freedom to blaze your own trail and get fully legal hemp and cannabis products discreetly shipped to your door in all 50 states. Whether you're recovering from a hard jiu-jitsu session or getting ready to scrap on the mats, Via Hemp has you covered. Their organic hemp is grown without pesticides and harsh chemicals. It's just a real quality product. I really like their flower. It's smooth, helps you relax and just have a good time. Their gummies are also great right before practice. I like the Elevate gummies to help dial in, or after practice, the Cloud9 to chill out and relax. Check out the link in the description and use code TIM for 15%. If you like the edibles, you won't regret it. So 34 years old, prime time. We're talking about 10 wins, 1 loss, and we're on a 4-fight win streak in the UFC. He submitted Journey Newsom, KO'd JP Buys, and then TKO'd Gaston, and now bursts into the top 15 by beating Jonathan Martinez. And now we got Marcus McGHEE at 14. How many pods ago was it when we're like, God, dude, you're just one of those guys that's going to burst in the top 15 in like 2 years? Literally exactly what we said.
It is absolutely crazy, man. And when we said it, it was believable. Like, I believed it. I believe that you believed it, But to see it all come to fruition, you know, and to see it all, this thing that was like a tangible thing but not there to be happening, you know, it's pretty surreal, man, honestly.
And your kids all stayed home and watched it on the big screen?
So I had a viewing party here at Toso's. So yeah, like 200 people piled into Toso's and watched it. My kids were there with my mother-in-law and my mom and my brother and some of my other family members too. So yeah, they were all watching it.
Tulsa, where you used to fight at?
Where I used to fight
Where
at,
his old
right?
stomping
Yeah,
grounds?
where you honestly. So I gotta say this story where Joe rattled me this one night, bro. I
know.
signed up for a boxing match and I signed up for an MMA match, yo. And he didn't know, and I was more trying to be focused on MMA, but I wanted to throw my hands, you know. And I signed up for it, and then like I don't know, maybe 10 minutes before I'm supposed to go out for the boxing match, Joe walks up to me, "Hey, you signed up for a boxing match?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do that and the MMA fight." He's like, "You a boxer now? You a boxer?" I'm like, "No, Joe, like, you know."
So Toso's is back in the parking lot where they'd set up the cage, right?
Yeah.
Buddy. Yep.
After the fights, you know, for sure to get dust up with a local native there.
Yes. And was that Shannon the Cannon Rich that would throw that on, and they'd match you up at the weigh-ins?
I think Roland
Sierra.
and Shan would partake in it.
Yeah, so Shannon was more like the hype man, you know, and Roland was the actual like matchmaker. Or no, Shannon was the matchmaker. That's who he was.
Oh God.
And Roland was like the CEO guy. Right?
Roland used to make my life hell. He would never pay me. I like my first 10 professional fights, I got paid $35. But
Oh my gosh.
he would take us to a bar and start pissing on people's feet after the fights. And I thought it was funny, so I'd start pissing on people's feet too. But I was like 17.
Yeah.
He was like 45.
No, I'm okay, brother. I'm okay. Yeah, it's one of those things. So now here we got Kyler at 12. We got Jose Aldo at 11. We got Mario Batista at 10. We got number 9, Rob Font. 8, Song Yadong. 7, Henry Cejudo. And Henry Cejudo is not interested in fighting. I don't think anyone.
Anybody.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think he's
Is he
wanting
gonna
to go
fight
to,
again?
I think he's wanting to go to 125, which is probably a good move for him.
I think so.
Anybody in that top 15 will probably tune him up. Respectfully tune him up. So what are we looking for next? Who are you looking at next, Marcus, you think?
You know, I'm looking at all those guys. Obviously, me and Eamon were already matched up to fight, and he's above me now. So, you know, I'm not against that fight either. Obviously, the Jose Aldo, people have been bashing me. So I thought that, you know, maybe some people are saying I called him out.
Who's bashing you?
Just random fans, you know, on Instagram and on social media.
What are they saying?
Just stuff like put a hit out on me too for being down with my boy, you know. It's like crazy things like that. I'm like, all right, bet, bro. Obviously, you guys, you know, don't know me, but like,
Yeah.
you
I mean,
know.
you're doing something right once you get some haters.
yeah.
If you don't got any haters, you ain't doing nothing.
And that's just what it is. And honestly, like even there's a lot of pocketed haters too. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, it's always going to be that way. People want to see you rise. People want to see you fall, and that's the way of the world, right? So you know, make sure that you're that you don't hold on to the things of the world. So that's where I kind of keep my mind.
So I know the UFC, the higher ups, I mean, they really like you, so they're probably going to give you a match top 10. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Rob Font's still up there.
That's what I keep hearing. Rob Font, you know,
Song Yadong.
The fun
Song
fight.
Yadong, you know, I think they're all fun fights, and I'm not against any of them, honestly. You know, and honestly, I haven't been rushing to get to the top, but now that we're at the top, you know, we're only going to fight top guys, you know. So obviously, I'm excited for every single one of those names, and it's surreal to me that I'm in the conversation for every single one of those names, and it makes sense though, you know,
Yeah.
like so. Yeah, absolutely. Yang Sedong, I've obviously cornered Kyler for his fight, and I've seen him multiple times. Great guy. Very hard fight, tough fight as well. Rob Font, stud, man. I was there for when Kyler fought him, you know.
Man, that's surreal when you're standing there and Jose Aldo's across the cage or something. How awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like, you know, going into those fights knowing and being thankful for the opportunity to be in those moments, great, but then also realizing that this is just me and another man that are going to be exchanging in the same type of fight that I've been doing for my whole life. So, you know, it's like there's a certain calm and relaxation that comes along with knowing that the moment is there.
Yes. Okay, so you're possibly looking to get back in there around March, you think?
Yeah, March, April, you know what I'm saying? I think that April will probably be a better shot than March, just because I don't necessarily know how long until I can get back on my leg, I can be training, and we'll see what's going on with taking shots in it and everything too. So it's pretty good. I'm already walking on it, moving around in it, but I definitely want to get that time. Plus, I just want to spend some time with my family through the holidays. It's been a long time since I've had
Holidays off.
Yeah, not off. You know, I'll be training, but I don't want to be like
Yeah, you don't
6
gotta
days a
fucking
week. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be so stuck on that to where it's like I'm not taking the time to spend those. My kids are getting older, you know, like, and even though I feel like I'm a young man and I think I'm gonna do a lot of things in this MMA span, I got kids that are about to be grown, you know, so it's like I need to make sure that as I'm going through this, that I am creating memories
Good for you, brother.
and the real things, the things that are going to be really tangible. All this other stuff will go and pass when I'm done fighting. The day I'm done, everyone will forget. Not to count,
Next day.
not to discredit them. I appreciate the fans, but my kids will not forget. They're gonna be the ones that, hey, Dad, you remember that one? Oh, you remember that? I need to make sure that I'm catering to them.
And what perfect time too, right before Thanksgiving, so you can just guzzle down the food and then really treat the kids to Christmas.
Exactly, and that's the plan. You know, we're gonna do that. And then we're going to get, right after we get done with that, you know, we'll get right back to the board and see who they have for us, what makes sense. And again, I'm not too inclined to deny any of those fights.
Yes.
Do you have a habit of when your kids watch you fight? Do you try to shield them from anything?
Not at all. No, I'm not. Honestly, I think that's why me and my kids' relationship is so good, because it's been a lot of me not trying to shield them, but like I introduce them to these things and let them know what it is.
Well, give me an example.
And give them my perspective on it. Like drugs, for instance, you know, like letting them know exactly what drugs are, why people get attached to them. I don't, like, when I talk to my kids about it, I don't tell them drugs are bad. That's not what I tell them, because if drugs are bad, everybody wouldn't get addicted to them, right?
Yeah.
Drugs are good, and they will mess with your mind, and they'll make you get stuck on them. So don't do them, because they will take a hold of you.
Just another whore.
That's exactly, you know, like the world has all these different things that will make you feel like they're good, that will grab your attention, and they're not, there's no fruit there, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to tell them lies and be like, oh no, all these things are terrible and that's why everyone does them. No, they feel good and that's why everyone does them, but it leads them down a path of darkness that they'll never be able to pull themselves out, or it'll be really hard to pull themselves out, you know?
Do you have any examples in your family that you can point to your kids and show them this is what will happen if you do A, B, and C?
Absolutely. Like my mother, or my oldest daughter's mother. So my wife, my my last 3 kids are from me and my wife, and then my oldest daughter's from my previous relationship, you know?
Okay.
And her mom is not in her life at all right now due to drugs. You know what I'm saying?
That's terrible.
And so I got my daughter when she was 10 years old, and I'd already been part of her life. Like she was, I mean, one of my main things has always been being there for the children, you know? And that's why a lot of my career has been put on hold, because I made sure that they're my priority. But at 10 years old, you know, her mom decided to do whatever she did, went crazy, doing drugs. I already knew she was doing drugs. I used to do drugs too, you know what I'm saying? Like
Somebody told me that.
Yeah, so like at the end of the day, you know, like I understood where she was at. It was just like, oh, I stopped and she never did too. But she was just trying to hide it, and it all came to the front. She lost her relationship, lost her kids, you know, and
she's still doing pretty bad.
Now she's still doing pretty bad. Doesn't speak to my daughter, doesn't go out to, you know, like and again, nothing against her, because I pray for her all the time, but my daughter is old. She's 15 now. So like she's went through every emotion, and I've went through every emotion with her, being there with her. And one of her favorite artists when she came to me was NF. And if you know NF, NF's mom died from overdosing on pills, you know? And it's like, my daughter had to live that, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is real life for me. Like, my mom is not here. I was with my mom for 10 years. I thought I was everything to my mom. And now I don't even speak to my mom. Like,
it's crazy, huh?
You know, so it's like real, you know, so going through it with them in a real way is what I'm all about. And I think that they can respect that from me, you know?
I think that's the way to do it, is just like just make them learn about it instead of just, I mean, you see the parents all the time, no, it's bad, it's the devil. And then they do it with their kid, they do it with their friends at school, and they're like, fuck my parents, they don't know shit. And
that's true, Tim. That's a good point. A lot of parents end up being hypocrites over time, doing things that they're doing, telling the kids not to do things that they're doing. But it's fathers. Let me ask you a question. Do you guys think it's your guys' opinion, is a father or a mother more important than the kids raising a kid? Which one's more important? Parental figure. I know. So
for me, just being a kid who didn't have a father, even though my father was in prison and all the things that happened, and he might not have even been the best dad, you know. I believe having both your parents is the strongest, right? But having 2 strong parents is what is the biggest thing. Even if having one that's weak is almost still just as bad as only having one parent, right? But when you have 2 parents that are in a line with each other, and they parent together, and their main focus is to do right and everything right that they can by their children, not to shield them, but to build them into great examples for the society, you know, so when they grow up that they will be able to function. When I'm gone, I want to have the confidence that my kids have everything in them to lead the next generation, their kids and the kids after them. That's all I can ask for, is to leave that with them, you know?
Do you guys think it's better for a parents to stay together and they absolutely don't like each other, they don't love on each other, they just don't really even respect each other that much, but they're staying together for the kids? Do you think it's better to do that or get a divorce?
Depends on how their relationship is. If their relationship where they're just parenting, they're just together, both their goal is for the kids, then I can see how that would work. But if they're just motherfucking each other to the kids or just fighting behind their back, that's a horrible, very toxic situation.
And then those kids see their parents never hugging, never kissing, never treating each other with respect and like how you should treat your partner.
Yeah.
I almost feel like it's sometimes
worse. It is, for
Like,
sure it is. I mean,
it absolutely is, if you ask me. And honestly, it's not that I don't believe in divorce, right? But like biblically, divorce is not what we want, right? We want to be able to find ourselves and then be that type of person for our partner. We're always looking for our partner to turn us into the person that we should be turning ourselves into, right? So I don't necessarily believe that we should be getting divorced, but on that same step, if you can't be together in a harmonious way, whether or not you like each other or not, and you can't show your children by your actions that, hey, even if maybe this isn't the love of my life, even if I don't feel that way, that she deserves respect, that this is a person that deserves to be treated well in life, treated like a queen. Yeah. If you can't show those things and let your emotions, like the love go, then yes, you should be getting divorced, because you're only going to show those kids detrimental things.
Absolutely. Your son learns how to treat a woman by watching how you treat your wife. Your daughter accepts how she's treated by other men by watching how you treat your wife. It's important. It really is.
And if you can... And a lot of times people can treat each other better separated. And that's unfortunate, right? It's unfortunate that people have to completely separate themselves to be able to treat each other better. Because sometimes you'll see that a lot. Like, oh, we divorced, but our relationship is great. Well, wait, what?
Yeah,
like,
no shit.
Like, wait, what? Like, that don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? You're divorced, but you guys have a really good relationship. It means that you guys couldn't work through your ego while you're in it, while you're inside of it, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? All this doesn't come from a judgmental place, but it's just from a place of like being real. You know, me and my wife has been together for almost 20 years, you know, and there's been a lot of the ups and downs where I wanted to be there, didn't want to be there, cared, didn't care, you know, but a lot of it boiled down to, no matter what, this is the mother of my children, and this is a woman who I love, regardless of how I'm feeling. I love this woman. I've poured into this woman. She has poured into me. I'm going to treat her well, period, regardless of how I'm feeling or my emotions. I will do for her regardless.
Good for you.
And in my relationship, it worked out in a way where we're the strongest we've ever been, you know. But we went through every emotion, and that's why I try to tell people. A lot of people are like, oh, it's so great and all these different things. Like, man, let my wife tell you the story. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let her tell you the last 20 years of how things have went.
Sunshine and rainbows,
right?
For sure.
100%. And there's a lot of dark valleys in that area, and we're blessed to have coming out of those. But it took a lot of intention and letting go of ego.
Yeah, that's good shit. Good shit. Okay, so we'll cover these real quick. We had Nickal go against Paul Craig, who's a dangerous dude. He's beat some very, very good guys. A lot of people are mad at him. Even Uncle Chael's mad at him, saying, "Hey, Nickal, you're one of the best wrestlers on the planet Earth, and you're scared to go around to the ground with this guy." But then from Nickal's team, it's like, where's Paul Craig's best chance to win? It's gonna be in his full guard. It's gonna be getting into these entanglements. That's gonna be his best chance to win. So, I mean, everyone's hating on it so bad. Even DC's like, oh, Nickal's going to have nothing for Khamzat. And I kind of see what he means. I mean, Khamzat's striking is it's fucking slick. He's got good boxing. He's got a good right hand. He's very slick. And I don't think right now Nickal's a one to beat a guy like Khamzat. But give him a year. Give him 2 years. Just develop his striking, get some more combos that he's really confident with. And I look forward to that fight. Did you end up watching that fight at all?
Yeah, I did. And I think, and Nickal said it. I watched the interview of Nickal. He said that, I have so much more to grow on, you know. He is saying that, hey, I do want matchups like Khamzat, but he even recognizes the fact that he's not ready yet. And it showed, again, in the fight. Like, again, he's going to have to be able to strike at a higher level for a guy like Khamzat. He's going to have to be able to stand up with him. We know that he has the grappling. He has the great wrestling, you know. But then even in those grappling exchanges, against a guy like the guy he was fighting, man, that guy has, again, like, he's the one that broke freaking Jamal Hill's arm, right? Yep. You know, like, snapped his arm, bro. Like, you know, like, what? I'm like, so it's like, again, for me, I do think that, you know, Bo went out there and won the fight. He needed to go out and win the fight. People take that for granted because it's not all sunshines and rainbows, you know, it's not all glittery. But it's like, bro, we're fighters, and that's a half a paycheck for me to go out here and lose, and lose. This is legacy that I'm creating for myself, and now I got to bounce back from that because I decided to try to wow you guys.
And not even just the show and win money. Now it's the next fight, too. Now the next fight goes up more and more because, yeah, exactly. What were you going to say, Nick?
Bo Nickal, when he went against Gordon Ryan in 2019, he'd only done 3 jiu-jitsu classes to that point. So he's still pretty new in jiu-jitsu, even though he's a great wrestler.
Yeah, I do agree, though. I mean, if Bo Nickal said, fuck it, I'm taking him down, he probably could have got a finish. But, again, you're running the risk. You're running the risk going where that guy's comfortable and dangerous.
You see some wrestlers that just can naturally fucking throw, can naturally punch. When you see him, do you put him in that category he doesn't seem like he's a natural puncher at all.
It doesn't seem like he's got some like serious thud, but I do believe he'll probably knock people out. People that are more scared of him taking him down, they're worried about the takedown so much, and he ends up thudding them up top. Yeah. But I think his power too will develop more and more. I think out of that fight, he probably got a lot of growth going 15 minutes on his feet with this guy who's been in it for a long time.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think he necessarily has the pop right now because he doesn't have the confidence in his technique on it, right? But I think as he continues to keep throwing those hands, and letting them go, yeah, he has the ability to have it. He does. He's a powerful guy. He's a fast twitch guy too. When he decides to go,
he's an athlete.
He does really well, So if he can start translating that into his striking, he could absolutely be that guy that can go out there and knock guys out. But it's going to take that transition into his striking. I know he's been focusing on it, but he's you stick to what got you to the dance, And I know he's all like wrestling is his main thing, but if he puts that same effort into his striking in the next year and a half, why not? Why couldn't he be that guy that still competes?
What are his accolades? What did he do in wrestling?
He's a three-time NCAA champion, and he lost in the finals for that fourth time.
And 3-time high school state champion, and I think he was the runner-up to qualify for the Olympics too. The guy he lost to won the gold.
Yeah, 3-time Division I champion. Like
he did what in the Olympics? Wrestling. Okay.
Yeah, wrestling, buddy. Okay, and then the next fight here, we got the lightweight fight: Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. And man, Charles almost made him look kind of bad. He just outskilled him. He's this good jiu-jitsu guy. He was the one taking Michael Chandler down, taking his back. Michael Chandler showed his heart. He had him severely hurt. That fight could have ended when he was smacking him in the back of the head like that.
Yeah, he was right in the back of the head too, beating on the fucking bean like that.
But Warlike said, "Oh man, Charles was looking for a way out. He was looking for a way out."
Yeah, that's funny.
Dude, I was wrong again. I said Chandler was gonna hammer him. Fucking, I'm never right, by the way. I'm always wrong.
Yeah, I definitely didn't think Chandler was gonna hammer him, but I know Chandler is just one of those guys that on any given night, that guy can change.
He can light it up for sure.
Can change the scheme of a fight, But I thought Charles was going to get it done, and just because of his skill set. And he showed it, too. Even in the striking department, he was really crisp. He was putting together things really artistically, and he was landing a lot of those things.
Couldn't believe he was taking him down. That would surprise me. That surprised the shit out of me.
Dude, good timing. Someone's kicking, you get in on their hips, and he was taking his back. Charles is so fucking scary. The way he stands so tall in this Muay Thai stance because he's so not afraid to get taken down. And people don't want to go into his guard. He'll butcher you from his guard, so he can just walk at you. And he's so limber with those knees and kicks.
Good foot pressure. He puts that pressure on you. That's what he
right away.
Taken down.
Right away. So he's number 2 now. Curious what's going to happen. So we got Arman versus Islam coming up. Curious what's going to happen next with Charles and next for Michael Chandler. Shit, there's going to be so many things that could be next. Could be Max Holloway. Michael Chandler, Max Holloway, sweet fight. Matthias Gamrot, he's right behind Michael Chandler, another sweet fight. Tons for that. And then we move on to the heavyweight bout. Johnny Bones Jones versus Stipe. And Stipe made it a fight. I mean, you could tell Jon Jones was just a lot faster than him. A lot, just
Stipe
more of an athlete.
Well, he didn't wear the age too well. He looked his age a little bit.
But
I think he looked great, though, even with the age.
Yeah,
I thought he was
doing
he
didn't look good. I'm saying the fast twitch muscles, like you can see that's the number one. That's the first thing to go when you get old is your speed. Like he didn't look bad at all, but I could tell a little bit. He lost a little bit.
Yeah.
When was his last fight?
3 years ago, right?
I think it was about 4 years ago.
And especially at this age, like when I turned fucking 39, fucking just dick in the dirt.
Yeah.
So every year just gets worse. I mean, I don't know how he is, but that age you can't beat Father Time.
Yeah. Especially those like that first round, Jon Jones expended a bunch of energy trying to fight Stipe. And I was like, damn, Stipe's still there. He's still alive. It's so tiring trying to whoop someone's ass and then they don't go away. And Stipe hung in there. And then that body kick, dude, from southpaw, just
fucking
dug into him.
And that's like a hidden shot too, man. That's a shot that people don't think about because that's right to that side of the ribs and that left side spin, man, that's a nasty one.
Foot just falls over the entirety of the fucking stomach like that. Just goes,
man. It's
the hardest shot in MMA, I believe.
Is it really?
I think so. The spinning kick straight, especially when they don't spin with it, they go straight in with it, and that heel digs into you. I think that's for Suge especially, that's the hardest shot he throws when he spins kicks to the body.
Yeah, it's nasty. It really is. It does a lot of damage.
He was throwing those teeps right up the middle, sticking his gut too. He was looking really. I thought Jon looked fucking great.
Especially because Stipe thought it was going to be up high, and that's why that's that spin in. When you spin in like that, it tricks people into thinking that you're doing a spinning.
Did he flash that teep and then he threw? Is that what he did? Oh shit!
And it looked like it was going to be a spinning hooking kick, and it wasn't a spinning hooking kick. It was a spinning straight or spinning back kick, right? So when he spins and he keeps it nice and tight like that, Stipe went to throw his arm up here, like, oh, I don't want to get hit up high. Like open that whole area up, and it's soft at that point too, because you're like, all your pressure is up high. You're like, no, I don't want to. Boom.
Yeah, and there's nothing you can do. It just takes the fucking soul out of you. Then you see Jon loading up, son. He's oh god, didn't look good.
Yeah.
And then, I saw a highlight on Twitter yesterday of Tom Aspinall kind of getting thrown around by this other wrestler. And people's just like, everyone just giving Jon Jones so much shit about not wanting to find Tom Aspinall. But it's like, don't be surprised if that fight comes and the UFC says they give him $20 million. Say, okay, we're going to give you $20 million for this fight. Jon Jones says, let's do it. I wouldn't be that surprised if Jon Jones took him down and whooped his ass.
I would think that's fucking, it's not a no-brainer, right? I would definitely think that's what would happen.
Yeah, I think people are just running with that. That's just clickbait right now. People are just running with it. They just want to bash Jon and they just want to add the hype to it,
He's a fucking good wrestler. Like when I trained with him before he started fighting in the UFC, he's fucking just freakishly good wrestler.
And Tom's great, and obviously he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. That's what they say too. And he has great all these different things, but none of that takes away from who Jon is. Like you still can't. What are you gonna say? We're gonna doubt Jon just because he's not gonna go fight this, like trying to go fight this guy?
I see his point. Yeah. I see what he's saying.
Yeah, I see what he's saying too. Like based off of where he is and where he stands and what he's done. Who stands to win off of that fight? Even if he wins that fight, what does he gain? What does he gain if he goes out and beats Tom Aspinall?
Just money.
Just money, right? Yeah. What does Aspinall gain if he beats Jon
everything.
Jones?
It takes everything from him.
Everything, right?
It's got to be a big payday, like Tim said. $20 million. You think that's we just?
I think it's fair. I think it's fair.
I think they paid him around $15 million.
Floyd Mayweather and it's boxing, but nevertheless, if Floyd Mayweather and Conor can go out and make $200 million, or Floyd can go out and make $200 million. I think we can figure out a way to get Jon Jones as 20.
What's the difference? Like the fight with Conor and Mayweather, the money, the type of numbers that they brought in, is that way more than what the UFC brings in?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, but they can find 20 mil. I think 20 mil is fine. Like
for the best fighter in the planet.
We're at the point right now where MMA is at a point where we could find 20 mil for Jon Jones. I think so.
What's the highest payday right now?
Highest paid in MMA, it's probably up there, Jon Jones. I mean, I think they were saying, Dana said, I'll never release what I actually pay that guy, but just trust that it's good. And I saw some, you never know with these things, but it said he made around $15 million. Yeah, which for MMA,
so we can find another 5. I think that the fans and the people can find another 5. We just gotta make it the spectacle that it should be.
Jon seems like, from what I know about him, whatever number he has in his mind, he's not gonna budge from it.
Yeah, he could be asking for 40. Say we're 40 or nothing.
But I really do. I see his point. He is getting older, and he's got everything to lose and nothing. And Aspinall has everything to fucking gain from that.
Because in the UFC too, the UFC could utilize Jon Jones' story from this point on, and they can run with that for the next 10 years, and he could still be a selling point for what the UFC is, the best company in the world. Like, even if he doesn't fight again, that's what they could still utilize someone like him. They still do it with a guy like George St. Pierre. They still do it with like these guys that are classic guys,
Everything's different. Yeah. There's so much, it's gotten more momentum behind it. So those old guys that are put on the pedestal now, Jon Jones would put even more on there,
100%. Yeah, because he's still collecting these accolades.
Fuck yeah, he is.
Like, I wanted to say Steve Austin, but no, for
Steve Austin.
the Iceman, Chuck Liddell.
Oh God,
But
dang
Chuck
it.
Liddell, you know what he did to bring Tito Ortiz, what he did to bring the UFC to all these guys have worked and alongside built the brand. McGregor built the brand, which is the UFC, to be the mecca of this thing we call MMA. And I think that some of those guys, you know, deserve these, especially when we're talking about guys like in other organizations, football, basketball, all these other organizations. We're saying that we're getting as big as them. We're saying that our sport is getting is becoming a more mainstream sport. All right, well, let's start paying some guys like
I wonder what the how much money the NFL brings in and the MLB and all that thing. Is it comparable with the UFC? Are they just not paying people as much as what they should?
I don't think we're bringing in. I don't think the UFC is bringing in those type
No,
of
not
numbers.
like that. But it's got to be close. I mean, something comparable. It's not. I mean, I don't. Do you know that what they are?
Nick's looking it up, but I'm sure the NFL and all those things blow it out of the water.
But it's like if we really want to start reaching those pinnacles, we got to start taking those steps, right? You know, like I think it plays a big part in it. Like, oh, why is Money Mayweather? All that hype that they've put behind all that has created this revenue, right?
Okay.
And it's like if we're ever gonna get to these levels of those type of paydays, whether the UFC is making that type of money and if the athletes are making that type of money, we got to start taking steps to turn people into these stars, right? Because if we're all going to be normal guys, they meet all of us, we're all just normal guys, you know, they come to our house like, bro, we live in a better house than you, you know, you're top 15, you know,
Living it dumb.
like, you know, again, like it's so funny. So it's like when people, that's just the realest of people start looking at your life and instead of being able to put you on a pedestal, like, oh, this guy is just, oh yeah, he's a fighter. He's a fighter, but so what? Really, like he's not the star. He don't got these cars and millions of dollars in the bank, and you know, like we gotta start creating that type of not just the guys at the top, like where it's a normal thing for guys to be stars. You know,
what were we saying?
Yeah, it looks like it's a little bit tough to find the actual numbers, but approximately 18 billion made by the NFL in 1 year versus the UFC 1 billion. So it's still significantly larger in the NFL.
Did you just look at the NFL? Is that it?
18 bill compared to 1 bill. Yeah, I mean,
I think you looked it up just to mock me.
No.
Honestly, those numbers make sense though, right?
Fucking 18.
When you think about how long the NFL has been around and how they've built that organization and all the different periods that how long the NBA has been around, how long the NHL. When you think about how long they've all been around in comparison to what we've been doing, man, it's like night and day too. You're talking about almost 100 years that these guys have been around, 80 years, and the UFC just passed 30, you know?
Yeah,
so it's like true. We're making big jumps and leaps. It's just we got to keep on making those jumps and leaps, you know?
Like, you remember when Tito fought Ken Shamrock? I think I was like 17 or 18. It was like 2000 or something. Do you remember that? That was a huge pay-per-view back then. And I think Tito got 250,000 and Ken got the same, and that was just unheard of back then.
Yeah.
And back then, everybody who was involved with the sport was talking about, this is going to be the biggest sport in the world. You know, all these big things. I didn't believe a fucking word of it, but I was going to do the sport for free. You know, I mean, if back in the day, if you were a fighter, you fought because you loved it.
Yeah, and I think that plays a big part in it too, because I think you have to have that mentality still. You have to have the mentality that this is something that you do even if it was for free.
Yeah, and that's the difference from the NFL or any other professional sport. This is something you use your spirit comes out in a lot more. Your soul does.
So, this one here is, are any of you guys putting your money into cryptocurrencies this bull run? Bitcoin's damn near at $100,000 is fucking crazy. That $98,000 per coin. You do any investments? You looking to invest in anything?
No, not at all. Honestly, I want to do investments, but the investments I want to focus on are a little bit more close to home than
some trailers
and all that type of stuff. Yeah, like food trucks and like yeah.
What kind of food truck would you want to do?
So I want to do a Munchies with Marcus food truck, you know. So I want to come up with my own menu. I want to get together with some of my family, and obviously it's not going to be all healthy. It's going to be like a food truck, you know what I'm saying? But I want like loaded French fries, loaded burritos, like.
You love cooking, huh?
Yeah, I enjoy cooking too, but I don't enjoy cooking. Like, don't get me wrong, honestly, I do pretty good with my meal preps too. Like, this is my first camp where I did all my own meal preps again. Yeah, because I was, for the last 3, I've been using like Clean Eats and a couple different meal prep companies. But this one, I was like, man, I want to be specific with my macronutrients. You know, I want to make sure I'm getting everything from where I want to. But in some of those meals, they'll have like different things that like are just to add calories, you know, opposed to being like nutrient dense. So I wanted to cook myself, and honestly, all my meals were pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, but I wanted to I want to have my food truck be like, yeah, man, you want crazy fry.
Is there money in that?
I think food trucks do really well. You know, again, it's all about, I think any business you do, it's all about structuring it the correct way. So I think that plays a big part in it. Getting the right people that can do the job, creating the right business plan.
That's the big thing.
And then going, but they do make money. I've always seen them make a lot of money. But that'll just be one, too.
Tim, did you say you were starting something like that? Did you talk about that?
Looking into it a bit, but those food trucks too, like they'll turn into a brick and mortar real quick and then just turn into a great thing. But putting the people in the right places, that is the key. I mean, that's the hard thing, is trying to find people that care. But if it's your family and they want to put the work into it and they actually care about it as much as you do, if you guys want to check out Marcus's YouTube, it'll be in the bio, and he has some great cooking shows that are really well made. So Kyle Doyle here, craziest street fight story from all three of you. Joe, you got one that sticks out? Anyone? I know you got hundreds and hundreds, but you got anyone that sticks out?
Craziest?
Yeah.
I don't know. Fucking yeah. Give me a second. I'll muster one up.
I already got.
Got one?
I always talk about it too, because everyone jokes about Wing Chun, and I did Wing Chun for a while, and I really enjoy Wing Chun.
Don't
And
shit on it.
I say all the time, I'll use Wing Chun in a street fight. I really will, because there's this one time I had just met these two military guys, Jason and Jeremy. They're both brothers, right? And they're my next door neighbors. And I was doing Wing Chun at the time, and they just got back from the military. They were both deployed, right? And they were just feisty dudes, you know. But we clicked right away, and yeah. So they're like, "Hey, bro, we're trying to party tonight, so we're about to party." My boy lives up the street off 7th and Greenway, and I'm like, "All right, bet we're gonna go over his house. We're gonna party." You know what I'm saying? So we jump in his car, Nissan Altima, mob over there. As we're getting into the apartment complex, these two dudes are pissing in the freaking pond, bro.
That's it.
And my two buddies are all mad about it, bro. It's the middle of the night. They scream out the window, just start belligerently screaming at these dudes.
They're sticking up for the pond.
Nice. And then the dude starts saying stuff back. So I'm thinking we're just gonna keep going. Man, they parked the car, bro. I'm like, here we go, dude. So
Time to get after it.
we get out the car, walk up on these dudes, and they're all going crazy, talking stuff to each other. I'm being quiet because I don't talk stuff that well. And the kid said something like, "Oh, I'm from here. We get each other's number. We can meet up at the park later on." And I was like, "What are you talking about, bro?" I was like, "This guy's a." I was like, "This." I said some. I know I didn't say the same thing, but I right away I was like, "Bro, whatever about this dude." And he decided he wanted to swing on me because I was the smallest one out of all of them. And I hit him with the tonsal and the straight line punch. Boom! Right to his chin.
What's your left hand doing?
Yeah,
The tonsal is getting the range, or
yeah, so the tonsal is it's the moving hand.
You have 1 foot propped up?
It's the guiding hand, right? So the tonsal, and it's all reactionary. So like the tonsal is, as he's throwing that right hand, I intercepting hand, right? Intercept the hand and redirect it just slightly out of my out of my center line, right? And I freaking blast him right down. I'm like, boom!
I'm turning that punch over, just send him straight.
thumb up.
Just thumb up straight. Boom. And his legs hit the stanky leg. Boom. He did this bounce, bounced on his legs like that. And I grabbed him and I kneed him right in the chin. Boom.
Ruthless were you?
Went to sleep. I was always really ruthless. Like, I didn't like to start stuff, but when the fight started, I was going to hurt whoever was with me. I was going to hurt people.
Because you're so nice. If you're getting in a fight, you're pushed to that point. You know
100%. 100%. So finish him off. He hits the ground, and we go jump back in the car because his homie's all scared and everything. Go jump back in the car. The other dude runs up and tries to kick my boy through the window. His shoe falls off in the window. He tries to jump through the window. My boy kicks him. His shoe falls out the car. He jumps out the car. The dude from his 4 friends just ran up now. So they ran up. The dude flying kicks him. I jump out the back of the car. I punch him right in the back of his head. Boom! He goes to sleep, bro. Face hits the pavement. It was crazy, bro.
Flying kicks, Wang Chung, the whole damn deal. That's fucking great.
Bro. I got a lot of stories like that, but that one, I always liked that one.
Tim, what's yours?
I mean, I was always an insecure kid wanting to fight people. And there's this kid from the crosstown, and we texted, it's like, all right, well, let's meet up at the park. And then bring your friends. And he probably had 10 friends. I had 10 friends with me. And I see him, and I take my glasses off, and it's dark, but I see him. And we lock horns over under. I go to toss him, and I just land square on my back on the asphalt. Then I bridge up into a single leg and then lift him. Big lift. Boom, put him on. He hits the back of his head, mount him. I'm bouncing his head off the concrete a couple times. Then the cops come, and I'm gassed out because I just chugged a monster head in there.
You had to.
Chugged a monster, so I'm about to fucking puke. 30-second go, and I'm gassed. And I get up off the kid. The cops come, so his buddies scoop him up, and they put him in a van. And then this other kid with half a pool stick comes behind me and he swings it at my head.
Oh.
And like I see a shadow of it and I kind of duck, swings it, boom, misses me. That guy sprints away and I'm so fucking gassed out there. I just sit there and wait for the cops. And,
Oh God.
And then we both got tickets. Ended up going to court, but the back of the kid's head was fucked up in court, just scraped
From the
shit.
hitting on the ground?
Yeah, that ground is unforgiving,
That's
bro.
what scares me. I've caught a lot of people when I've cracked them before they hit the ground because that's what kills people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't do this at home, kids.
I mean, and then
adults.
And then the next week at the state fair, his brother wanted to tussle, and his brother was tougher than him. And my buddy Jeremy came up to the car. We were leaving. He's like, "Hey, this kid wants to fight you." I'm like, "Fuck, all right." Get out, and I cracked him with the overhand right. Bink. And he's like, "All right, we're good." I'm like, all right, we're good.
You good? I'm good.
We're good.
That's good. I have. I'll tell. Well, you remember Scott Lewis?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you do? Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
for
so
sure.
I'll go with this one. So we were watching this probably like in 2007 or something. We were at a Cardinals game, and the Cardinals just beat the Lions. The Cardinals rarely won that year, so like the Lions fans was giving him shit like, "Hey, the Cardinals won," just friendly razzing. And Scott was driving. We were turning, leaving the parking lot of where it used to be. I think it was Anheuser-Busch, but whatever bar that was close to the leaving to Glendale. Anyways, so I get these guys are talking shit. I don't want to be in the car to be whacked on, so I get out, crack one bird and down because when you many times when somebody's pushed me, that right hook comes out like a button. Yeah, so I crack the one dude, he goes down, and I get on top of him. But no, I don't get on top of him. I actually start the other guy, crack him, and then on top of him, cracking this other guy. Guy had what are the boots got? Steel toe boots. Kicked me in the back.
Ow.
And I fucking buck off. No,
My L4.
It hurt. And then I fucking kind of single-legged that guy, finish him off. And then I get it, like my fucking back. and then Scott just sat there and walked by Scott and cracked me in the back. And then the cops drugged me off, and then they let me go. Thank God the guys didn't press charges, but there's bones in your back called transverse process. Broke two of them in my back.
Oh, my
pointed them straight down,
goodness.
which he kicked my back. They're just
And
like
they're
little
still toes, bro.
Yeah, and they just stuck on a nerve for over a fucking year.
Yeah.
It was horrible. That was a bad one, but Scott Lewis fucking left me to die that day.
That's
That
crazy.
fucking
I
ball
believe
bastard.
it. I don't doubt that at all, bro.
No.
Yeah.
He tried. Yeah, fuck.
He was like, not me. He's like, nah.
Yeah, he didn't do a goddamn fucker.
Billy says here, how does Marcus recover for being his age and still push such a pace? What do you do for your recovery when you're beat down? You're 2-3 days into the week and you're just fucking fatigued.
Mentally I just push through it too, and just let myself know. But there's those times where you have to let your body know that, hey, I need to be doing things. So in all reality, I try to do preemptive things, right? Like plunges, like cryotherapy, like hyperbaric chamber, like red light therapy. So I go to Eminent Wellness out here. And they're the ones that they have a big hyperbaric chamber. I try, especially during camp, I try to be in there 3 days a week. I utilize all their stuff. I use their stem. I use their red light. I use their hyperbaric chamber. I use their they have all, like these mats that are like cellular regenerative. I do brain taps over there. Like anything that they have, I try to take advantage. So a brain tap is basically they'll put like this monitor on you. Basically, it's like headphones, and then there's like a light in front of it. And as you lay on these mats and use your compression boots or whatever, it'll just be different music that is playing with like affirmative speeches, basically from people, whether it be like for success or it be for renewal or it be for just like for health in general.
Is it like MDR? Do you know what that is?
I'm not familiar with MDR.
It's like a light therapy thing. It's kind of like the same thing.
So similar, because the lights will flash, and that's the part of the therapy as well. But the other side of it is like what they're playing in your ears. It'll be like, oh, listen to what the words I'm saying, how I'm saying, and be only here right now. Breathe deep in. And it tries to get you to focus on specific things. Like if it's like spirituality you're trying to focus on, then it'll be that. If it's faith or if it's strength or any of these different things, they have all these different lists that you can choose from. So I'll do those brain taps as well.
That's good, man.
And then chiropractic, core chiropractic out here. I try to get in with him at least once every 2 weeks.
He's good.
Once a month. He's good. He does acupuncture as well. So I'll do that, like 30-minute acupuncture with him as well. So I'm trying to take advantage of all those things, and not just in camps, outside of camps. I think people have to. The game has changed, and even at a young age, you guys have to realize that we're only going one way, and the more of those things you do are going to benefit you in the later years.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, you can definitely tell the people who out of fight camp when they don't even have a fight coming up, the people that still treat themselves like professionals compared to the people that don't. I mean, you can be the best athlete, you have the most skills in the world, but if you're not living like a professional out of fight camp, when those top 15 fights come, you can definitely tell.
Yep, and that's why exactly. Even though I'm a little thick right now, this will not be lasting. You know, I took
Stomach?
Put down the hot
Turtle shell, like
pockets.
the fuck I'm talking about.
I know.
I've never looked like that, you dick.
No.
Even on the scale, I don't look like that.
155, I still got tits.
If I take this shirt off, you're gonna be like, "Yo, what the heck?" Like you look
fucked up.
yoked. I'm like, "Yeah, bro."
I thought Mario was naturally bigger than him. Then you guys sit right next to each other. You're way fucking bigger than Mario.
Yeah, I'm just I can be for sure be thick if I'm undisciplined. You know, even if I was disciplined and wanted to be a bodybuilder, I can do that. You know.
But when I first met you, like at LA Boxing, you were always lean like
Man,
that.
I had never trained a day. Don't get me wrong. I always worked out. I skateboarded. I always did martial arts on my own. I didn't have a coach other than Wing Chun. I didn't have a coach. I didn't have any of those things, you know. So like,
but Wing Chun.
Yeah, but Wing Chun, you know, and I did that.
Fucking that little hand is just enough right there.
Honestly, a lot of that stuff, like there's so many strikes. I believe obviously no style is gonna do it at the level that we fight at, right? But honestly, if you don't know Wing Chun and someone's proficient with it, it hits you so fast.
Did that
bro.
right hand come from your fucking hip?
Not from the hip. All center line is what it's called, right? So everything's based off of center line. It's all about like even like, you know, when we throw our right hand, like you see people always raise that elbow but throw the right hand, and that's not where the power from. The real one is the one that just turns right over. Your hips turn over everything, and it just snaps, right? And the elbow stays along the wall, right? That's what it's supposed to. Same type of thing with Wing Chun. Everything's center line and specifically.
How do you have your hands?
So honestly, the hands are usually like this. Yeah. So each hand is and you're C-stepping.
And the right one's fanned out a little bit, huh?
Yeah, 100%. I'm about to show you my Silam towel. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
I have to show you guys my Silam towel. I still know the Silam towel and everything too.
And hopefully they don't throw a right hand left hook.
Yeah. Even if they do, we have options for that. Yeah. So same hand. So same
redirect
thing.
the hand?
Yeah, redirect. So it's like
Nice.
sticky hands is what it's called, right? They call it chi style, right? And the chi style is specifically for when guys are throwing the same hand or different hands, and then not having to switch my hands, use the same hand to do the same thing. So tan sao, fuk sao, pak sao, all that in the same motion. Like he throws the jab, I tan sao. He throws the right hand, I pak sao. He throws the other hand, I fuk. Or he throws the same hand, I fuk. I pull him toward me. Ban sao, which is like an elbow, you know. It's like what's it called? What's the backhand? Back fist. I forget what it's called.
Back sao?
Yeah. It's
Wax on? How long did you do this for? How long were you
I
doing
did it for 2 years. I did Wing Chun for 2 years, and it's crazy enough. My Sifu is in jail for murder right now. His name is Mark Barkira.
What the fuck did he do?
He murdered a lady, bro, like crazy. Later on in life,
You don't know what he was going through, though.
I know he was going through a lot because he came to my freaking Circle K that I was working at that was right across the street from the LA Boxing, right? He came to Circle K chasing one of my buddies named Aaron that I skateboarded with forever, chasing him. My boy jumps over the freaking register, run, Marcus, save me, Marcus, save me.
He's Chase Sowing me.
Yeah, bro, and I didn't know who was coming.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, my freaking Sifu comes to the door. I'm like, Sifu, what is going on?
Master
Sifu.
Sifu.
Yeah, Sifu, what's going on? He's like, I'm gonna kill him. I ended up calming him down, you know. But like, I was like, I could tell he was on drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Sifu, take a roller dog. Hot dog.
and he was an older dude. If you look up Mark Becerra, he actually was credentialed in the Wing Chun community, you know. And but he was definitely, there was a lot of things about him that were weird, bro.
What were the specifics of the murder? Do you know what happened?
No, all I know is that they told me, and I looked at it later on, that this lady, his next door neighbor, whatever had happened, he ended up shooting her in the head. That's all
He just snapped pretty much?
Just snapped and did it. And they didn't tell me anything. They didn't tell me.
Karen caught one off the beak?
Yeah, I don't even know. But I know the last time I saw him, I felt super uncomfortable, bro. I went up into one of these, this dude that I knew from the store. I ended up going to his apartment, maybe the Blaze or something, you know, just going over there. And Sifu was over there, and he was acting really weird with me. And he was like, you know, Wing Chun is better than all that stuff you're learning over there. And I was like, yo, I better get up out of here, yo.
Yeah.
So got about.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you shoot Marcus McGHEE a follow on Instagram. What is it?
Instagram is maniac_McGHEE MMA, and then Instagram is Maniac McGHEE or Marcus McGHEE 07. I'm on TikTok and Snapchat too. So
that's it. Jump on the bandwagon early because we're going to see him at the top. Thank you, brother, for coming in. Thank you, Joe Diesel. And hit that like and subscribe button. We're almost to 200K subs. And comment your thoughts below. Thanks for watching. Love y'all. Bye-bye.